One of the easiest ways to lose time and leverage in Hermosa Beach right now is to assume every seller is dealing with the same market, because they're not. Hermosa Valley single-family homes are sitting at 1.9 months of supply, while East Hermosa condos and townhomes are only keeping 94.7% of their original asking price. Same city, very different stress, very different leverage, and very different consequences if you price your home like Hermosa is moving under one set of rules. That's the pressure point this month. Some homeowners are getting a fast, clean answer from the market. Others are getting dragged into extra showing time, more second guessing, and a more expensive lesson on pricing than they expected. So the goal today is simple. I want to help you figure out what lane your home is actually in, what that means for your timing and pricing risk, and what kind of seller experience you should expect if you move now instead of later. On the single family side, Hermosa is still a scarcity market. In March, the city had just 17 active single family listings, down from 39 a year earlier. Months of supply came in at 2.4, median days on market tightened to 11, and sellers received 100% of both original list price and last list price. The median sales price fell to $1,975,000 from $3,130,000 a year ago, but the median price per square foot actually rose to $1,155 from $1,102. So the cleaner read is not that the single family market in Hermosa lost value. It's that the mix of what sold changed while pricing power stayed firm. Condos and townhomes are different. Hermosa finished March with 18 active condo and townhome listings, 3.5 months of supply, and 34 median days on market. Sellers received 97.3% of last list price and 95.8% of the original list price. That original price number matters because it tells you how much of your first pricing vision the market is actually letting sellers keep. The median sales price for condos and townhomes still rose to $1,775,000, and price per square foot rose to $1,020. So this is not a weak market. It is a market where buyers have more permission to compare, pause, and negotiate. And for you as a homeowner, that distinction matters more than a citywide headline. In one lane, the market gives you a fast answer. On the other, it gives you more second guessing. I'm Hernandez, and if your move is already starting to feel real, book the 101 strategy call below. It's the fastest way to get clarity on your lane and your pricing room. But if you're not ready to talk yet, use HomeBot to track your equity and stay close to the decision without having to make it today. And if this kind of local breakdown helps, subscribe so that you can stay current on what the market is doing. Before I get into the neighborhoods, one quick framing point. Hermosa is a thin market. Some of these segments only printed a few closings in March. That does not make them irrelevant. It just means you don't want to treat one small sample like a permanent truth. In a market this thin, your exact competition set matters even more because one strong listing or one stale listing can change the tone quickly. Let's start with the single family home side. Sand section single family homes are tight but illiquid. In March, there were 9 active listings and 2.7 months of supply, but there were no closed sales. So March does not give me a clean speed read or a clean pricing read from actual closings. That matters. This is the kind of lane where scarcity can make you feel powerful and uncertain at the same time. There is very little competition, yes, but the buyer pool is thinner, more specific, and more price point sensitive than owners sometimes want to believe. So if you own a single family home in the sand section, the right posture is precision over confidence. This is not the lane to assume silence means failure, and it is not the lane to assume prestige will carry an inflated launch. It's the lane where the wrong expectation can get in your head fast. A quiet first stretch here can feel personal. It usually is not. It is just what a thin, high-dollar buyer pool feels like when there are not that many of them and when every one of them has choices. Hermosa Valley single family homes are the opposite kind of stress, or really less stress. In March, there were only 3 active listings, months of supply sat at 1.9, the median days on market were 8, and the seller who closed got 98.1% of the last list price. That is the cleanest fast answer lane in the city. If your home competes here, you usually do not spend 3 weekends wondering whether someone cares. You find out rather quickly if the market likes your launch. That matters more than people think. It means fewer days with the house in performance mode, fewer rushed cleanups before leaving for a last minute showing, fewer nights lying in bed trying to interpret silence. The leverage here is front loaded. It lives in the first price, the first impression, and the first week. Use that well and the market can feel efficient. Misuse it and you waste the best part of that lane. East Hermosa single-family homes are premium but deliberate. In March, there were just 3 active listings and only 1 month of supply, so the scarcity is absolutely real. 6 homes still closed, the median days on market stretched to 40, sellers achieved 100.3% of the original price, and the median sales price was $1,797,500. That combination is important. This is not a weak market. Weak markets do not routinely deliver over original ask with almost no supply, but it is not a sprint lane either. It is a lane where buyers may still pay, but they take longer to fully digest the decision. So if you own in East Hermosa, slower does not automatically mean softer. It may simply mean the market is validating your price on a longer clock. That changes your planning. It means you do not want to misdiagnose patience as failure and start cutting when the market may still be working in your favor. So the single family home story in Hermosa Beach is not one thing. Sand section single family homes are tight but illiquid. Hermosa Valley single-family homes are a fast answer lane. East Hermosa single-family homes are premium but deliberate. Same city, very different emotional experience if you are the seller. Now let's move to condos and townhomes because this is where sellers accidentally burn time, leverage, and sanity by borrowing single-family home logic. At the citywide level, this is the part of Hermosa where the cost of being just a little high gets real fast. 34 days on market does not sound dramatic until you live it. It is a month of trying to keep the place photo ready, a month of wiping down counters that are already clean, a month of leaving for open houses, loading the dog into the car, wondering if every text from your agent is finally the one that says you have an offer. And when the original price realization across the city is 95.8%, the message is pretty clear. The longer the market has to teach the seller the truth, the more expensive that lesson usually gets. Sand section condos and townhomes are status without urgency. There were 6 active listings in March and 6 condos and townhomes still closed. So demand did not disappear, but sellers still only achieved 95.6% of the original price. That is the important part. Buyers clearly want the lifestyle. They are just refusing to suspend judgment because of the address. This is what that looks like in real life. Good open house traffic, polite feedback, strong interest in the neighborhood, and then buyers go home and compare. They compare dues, they compare natural light, they compare parking, they compare stairs, storage, building feel, and monthly payment. So if you own a condo or a townhome in the sand section, your risk is thinking status creates urgency. It doesn't. Not in this lane. The market will still buy the lifestyle. It just wants proof that your unit is the easiest yes amongst the alternatives. Hermosa Valley condos and townhomes are workable, but early pricing matters. In March, there were 7 active listings, 3.7 months of supply, a 36-day median days on market, and sellers got 96.7% of their original price. That is not a broken lane. It is a lane where the market gives you a chance if you respect it. The danger here is that a first weekend can feel deceptively encouraging. People come through, they compliment the remodel, they like the location, they say they can see themselves there. And then nothing happens because the number did not give them a reason to stop comparing. That is the Hermosa Valley condo and townhome trap. It can look healthier than it feels like in the moment. So if your home competes here, the market usually rewards a clean, realistic opening more than a proud one. Early pricing matters because this lane still has buyers, but not buyers who will rescue a casual strategy. East Hermosa condos and townhomes are the least forgiving lane in the city for wrong opening price. In March, there were 5 active listings, 3.6 months of supply, 29 median days on market, and sellers only achieved 94.7% of their original price. That is the deepest original price discount in Hermosa's condo and townhome market. And that is why I would treat this lane with the most humility. If you own a condo or a townhome in East Hermosa, the market is not telling you not to sell. It is telling you not to test it. This is where overpricing becomes a stale listing penalty fastest. First, you tell yourself the market just needs a little bit of time. Then you start watching the portals too often. Then you start wondering whether the photos are the issue, or the weather, or the weekend, or whether buyers are just waiting for rate. And all of that time, the listing is aging, which means every future buyer gets to walk in with more confidence than you have. That is the real penalty, not just a reduction. The shift in posture. The buyer gets more patient while the seller gets more tired. So on the condo and townhome side, the lanes are distinct and easy to remember. Sand section condos and townhomes are status without urgency. Hermosa Valley condos and townhomes are workable, but early pricing matters. East Hermosa condos and townhomes are the least forgiving of a wrong opening number. That is the core of the market this month. If you're a single family home seller, Hermosa still gives you leverage, but the kind of leverage depends on the section. If you're a condo or a townhome seller, Hermosa still gives you a path, but not much tolerance for ego. That is the difference. And if you're hearing this and realizing your home may not behave the way you assumed it would, that is exactly why I want you to book the 101 strategy call. I'll help you line up your exact property condition and competition set against the lane that it actually is in. And if you're not ready for a conversation yet, start with HomeBot. It tracks your estimated equity, mortgage options, and buying power based on real-time rate so that you can stay close to the decision without forcing it. Now let's zoom out briefly because the macro backdrop matters, but only in the ways that change your buyer pool's behavior this month. As of April 16, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate was 6.3%. That is a little better than 6.83% a year ago, but it is still expensive enough to keep buyers disciplined. The labor market is still supporting demand. March added 178,000 jobs and unemployment held at 4.3%. So buyers still exist. They still have incomes. They still need to move, but affordability is not moving in a straight line. The Housing Affordability Index was 113.7 in March, which is healthier than 104.2 a year ago, but down from 117.5 in February. In plain English, that means buyers are in a better shape than last spring, but they still feel every little wobble in monthly payment. And that is the behavior takeaway for you as a seller. Buyers are not gone, but they are less tolerant of waste. Waste in condition, waste in layout, waste in credits, waste in price. That matters most in condos and townhomes, but it also matters everywhere. So is waiting safer? Not automatically. If you own a single family home in a lane that is already giving you scarcity, fast feedback, or clear pricing support, waiting may buy you time, but it also exposes you to a buyer pool that could become more selective, not less. And if you own a condo or a townhome, waiting is not passive. It is a bet that future buyers will be easier to convert, that your competition set will not grow, and that your own tolerance for extended showing life will remain intact. Sometimes that bet works. Sometimes it doesn't, but it is still a bet. Here's the one question I want you to ask yourself before I go any further. If your property had more built-in flexibility tomorrow, would that make you hold longer, or are you still more focused on getting certainty this year? I ask because there is one structural shift that matters more for single-family homes than most owners realize. On March 24, Hermosa Beach adopted its updated ADU ordinance to align with the new state rules. For a single-family homeowner, especially in Hermosa Valley or East Hermosa, where the lot or garage setup may be more usable, that can create hidden strategic upside. Not instant comp magic, not a made-up premium you slap on your list price, but real upside in how buyers think about future utility, rental help, or multi-generational flexibility. In other words, some single-family home lots may now carry more optionality than their current floor plan alone suggests. On the condo and townhome side, the city's mobility and corridor improvements matter too, but in a different way. The PCH mobility work, bus stop upgrades, and related infrastructure do not rescue a weak launch today. They do not erase pricing discipline, but over time, they can make certain condo and townhome locations easier for buyers to say yes to, especially where access, convenience, and day-to-day friction shape how a unit feels to live in today. So the strategic read is simple. Future upside is real, but it should sharpen your lens, not justify present-day denial. So here's my bottom line for April 2026 in Hermosa Beach. This market is not split into good or bad. It is split into quick answer lanes and patience lanes. Single-family homes still have real scarcity behind them, but sand section single-family homes are tight and thin. Hermosa Valley single-family homes give you the fastest read, and East Hermosa single-family homes can still pay strongly while making you wait. Condos and townhomes still have real buyers, but sand section condos and townhomes have status without urgency. Hermosa Valley condos are workable only if you price cleanly, and East Hermosa townhomes are the lane most likely to punish hopeful pricing. Condos and townhomes still have real buyers, but sand section condos and townhomes have status without urgency. Hermosa Valley condos are workable only if you price cleanly, and East Hermosa townhomes are the lane most likely to punish hopeful pricing. Move now and some lends still give you speed, cleaner leverage, and less emotional wear. Wait and you may get more time, but not necessarily more safety. Because the market you meet later may not be easier, it may just be different. So if you want the strongest next step, book your complimentary one-on-one call. My contact information will be in the description below. I'll help you build a plan around your actual home, your actual lane, and your actual risk tolerance so that you can avoid losing time, leverage, and equity to the wrong strategy. And if you're not ready for that conversation yet, use HomeBot. It is the lower friction way to track your equity, mortgage options, and buying power in real time until you're ready to make a move. And if this helped you think more clearly about your home and your timing, like and subscribe. Because in Hermosa Beach right now, the market will still pay you for the right launch. It just gets very expensive when you try to sell the lane you wish you had instead of the one you actually own. I'm Hernandez, and I will see you in the next video.